by the McLaren team principal, Martin Whitmarsh. And Martin, unfortunately, I have to start by asking you about Jensen's stop on track this morning, problem with the fuel pump.
Just that, yeah, no, fuel pump failure, which isn't great because it's really quite a big scene to get it changed, although, as we can hear behind us on cue, clearly the engine's running again now. But no, I guess that's what testing's about. You'd rather not have it, but on the other hand, you'd rather have the problems here than obviously later in testing or at a race weekend. So, no, a fuel pump failure and a reasonable scene for the guys to sort it.
And what are you hoping to achieve from this testing, this first week of testing here?
Well, like everyone, you know, the car that we're testing here isn't actually the car we're going to race. You're going to test mechanical systems like fuel systems. You're going to start to get a feel, to get the team working on, really working with this car. So the car's going to evolve. We're going to be living with it now until December. So it's an exciting time when you start to learn its potential, how to work with it, how to exploit it. Inevitably, things will get a bit hotter as we move to Barcelona in week 9. An important test, and one where all of the teams will bring some of their final upgrades before Australia. But there'll be lots of guessing, lots of speculation about pace. With the DRS zones that people can exploit or not exploit with different fuel loads, anyone can set virtually any lap time they want here. So I think the trick is to make sure you remain disciplined, you run your engineering programs, you learn about the car. It starts to count really in Q1 of, in the qualifying session of Australia. That's when we've really got to be best prepared, and we've only got 3 tests, so really precious time, which we'd rather not be sat in the garage changing fuel pumps. But as I say, I think we'll be in good shape by the time we get to Australia.
It was widely thought you had the fastest car last year, but reliability issues caused you a loss of points and maybe even a loss of place in the constructors, but maybe even title for one of your drivers. Has that been something you've really had to work on over the winter?
Well, inevitably you do, because, as you say, we started with the quickest car, we ended it, we had it quickest at various moments. So, won 7 races. If you come out of a year like that and you haven't won a championship, you've got to be disappointed with yourself. So, looking at operational processes, engineering process, making sure we as a team can get the best out of the car, not just in pace, but also in consistent performance, consistent point scoring. So that means, for drivers, for the team, not to make mistakes. It means we've got to be absolutely clear that we're best prepared. And I think it makes us very motivated to make sure that we're hoping we've got a quick car again this year, and we can really go for a championship this year.
Sergio Perez gets in the car for you tomorrow for a run around on the track. One of the things we know we're going to talk to him about over the winter, preparing for this season, is just take it easy, feet on the ground. A couple of mistakes last season from him being maybe a little bit overexcited on track and just getting used to things and getting a bit more used to Formula One. What have you been doing with him over the winter?
No, he's been working very hard. He's been training. He's been working with the engineering team, working in the simulator. So I think he's been surprised by the intensity of that programme. So I think he's enjoyed it. Obviously, it's been great so far. We've enjoyed working together. We're in the honeymoon period at the moment. I think the relationship between he and Jensen, I think, is great at the moment. They haven't raced each other in the same team yet, but they're really working hard together. Jensen's obviously got all that confidence, all that experience, and clearly Checo's got a lot of hunger. They're working absolutely great, but inevitably when we get to Australia, when they pull out the garage, they'll want to beat each other, and that's how we like to run our team. I think we can keep a healthy dynamic and a healthy competition. These things don't always go to plan. They can boil over, as you know, but I think we've got 2 really nice guys, balanced guys, competitive, honest and open, so I think it's going to work well, but we'll see.
Martin, thank you very much for joining us. Talk to us this afternoon. I know you don't often make it to testing, but good to see you here in Spain. And as you can hear, cars back out on track, and Jensen should be out very shortly as well. Back on the track, only managed 3 laps this morning before the car stopped, but hoping to get out this afternoon and just see what this year's McLaren has underneath that skin. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much. New F1 season then almost upon us, and it starts in Australia. We'll bring you the full weekend experience, starting with practice on Friday, March the 15th, into qualifying on Saturday, and the race itself live on Sunday, March the 17th. That's the first day of testing ahead of the new season in Formula One, and the teams have gathered in Jerez to check out their new cars. They have just 12 days of running before the first race in Australia. Jenson Button was first through the gates. In fact, it was still dark when he turned up. He was pretty much first off the track too. His McLaren stopped because of a fuel pump issue, similar to what ended his race in Monza last year. And the 2009 champion had to hitch a ride back to the pit lane in a safety car.
No, I guess that's what testing's about. You'd rather not have it, but on the other hand, you'd rather have the problems here than obviously later in testing or at a race weekend. So, no, a fuel pump failure and a reasonable scene for the guys to sort it.